But Dwayne Moody made it into the affected neighborhoods on Sunday and has the following report.
What has happened, what is happening, is a disaster, is a crisis, has precipitated an emergency small e.
Mass flooding in Belize. It was no joke on Saturday night into Sunday morning when across the country and in particular Belize City was inundated by water. Across the old capital, the flooding for most residents was never seen before, and the water level came creeping up like a thief in the night.
Water wake me, so my mattress no good. Because we don't know with the water, it worse. I don't know what we do. I feel so bad. Everything for me, my furniture and everything underwater.
We never get this.
I don't know what we do at all. I can't do nothing.
Coming down to morning, my ma heal me and my ma say, Laverne, my bed wet. He said everything, so we had us to get up the deep freeze, get up the fridge because we never got water like this before.
So I opened my door, said, I can see how far the water there. When I peep out the water about to come in my house. So when come in, 2 rooms. Wet up, I have to sweep water out. Me and my sister start to do what we tell she, well, gal, make we start to lift the thing and put them high on table and chairs and stuff, you know, and that's how we try to put them on the bed and all.
The incessant rains started as early as Friday night. They continued with vigor for some 2 days and would not let up until just before 1 p.m. on Sunday. According to the chief meteorologist, Dennis Gunges, approximately 10 inches of rain have fallen on the city within the last 36 hours. And estimates are that to every inch of rainfall, there is about 4 times the amount in runoff and flood waters. Gunges says the low-pressure system, which is now in the Bay of Campeche, will cause another 2 days of downpour.
We had a slow-moving area of low pressure, which presently sits in the Bay of Campeche, and it had dumped significant amounts of rainfall around the country. However, the bulk of this rainfall affected the central and northern parts of the country, with Belize City receiving about 10 inches of rainfall during the past 36 hours. For the next 36 hours, the forecast indicates that our model guidance indicate that about 6 to 8 inches can still occur, and the bulk of this is expected tonight and early in the morning. As we go into Tuesday and Wednesday, conditions improve somewhat on Tuesday, with even better conditions on Wednesday.
But while the forecast is that there will be better conditions on Wednesday, it is little or no consolation to residents from the divisions of Freetown, Lake Independence, Collet, and Port Loyola. These areas in the city have been most adversely affected by up to 4+ feet of water. Meanwhile, the 2 main highways and entrances to the city were completely submerged. It was impossible for some vehicles trying to make way through the water. As we traversed through the city, children and entire families waded through the waters, some trying to get to higher grounds and shelters, while others were basking in the murky waters. In Collet and Port Loyola, up to 30 families were evacuated with the assistance of the Coast Guard, the City Emergency Management Organization, CEMO, and other residents who left the comfort of their homes to assist.
This has been a whirlwind of efforts with all hands on deck. As the National Emergency Coordinator mentioned earlier this morning, it's all hands on deck, sir. As you could see, we as our people, we have to be united in times like these. All differences aside, and the community along with our personnel and the Coast Guard has been on the ground since early this morning. We went in and we have extracted residents in large numbers from behind there. It's so large that we lose count as to the amount of people that are behind it. This small craft goes up to just about where the refuge is. Then the second one goes to the back, and then the people came out around the corner in the bigger boat, no?
A flood mitigation infrastructure project that was rolled out in 2014 across the city was funded by the Inter-American Development Bank and the government of Belize. But the current disaster brings light to the many flaws within the system, and for those affected, it is believed that the unusual flooding is due to improper drainage.
I don't know, I feel like the problem now must be the drain. Because we don't have no draining.
I experience it like this, but never come where to the doorstep like that. Something is wrong.
What do you think, maybe any idea of what could have caused this?
I think all the drainage and thing just clogged up around here.
The streets, people appreciate the streets, but it's clear that we need proper drainage. We need proper drainage. The streets have effectively become swimming pools, and of course the water is flowing into residents' homes, low-lying homes. So it's a major problem.
In the case of the area encompassing Antelope Street and Farbers Road extensions, which is in the heart of the Collett Division, Area Rep Patrick Farber says that the Crewman Lagoon catchment is the reason why those areas are worst. Approximately 85% of the constituency is underwater.
The people who are in that London Bridge area, which I remind people is over the Crewman Lagoon, it is an impossibility to fill, and it is a catchment area. That is why all that water flooded in their area, and as a result, a lot of the people who are living on the London bridges there experienced that kind of flooding. On the other side of Crewman Lagoon is where Madam Liz is. And this morning, very early, I was out there last night too, and it wasn't that bad, but this morning it was completely flooded again because of that lagoon.
The weather also created some unfortunate incidents where several houses across the city caved in, most of them with families still inside. According to Prime Minister Dean Barrow, residents that have been affected by the natural phenomenon can be assured that not a single need will remain unmet by the government.
While we can't control the weather, while we can't control what has happened, we certainly can control our response to the disaster. And basically, my primary duty this afternoon and my principal message is to assure the nation that we will do everything that is required to put things back in a state of proper repair, to assist those that have been affected with whatever the needs are.
PUP leader Francis Fonseca is also the area representative for the Freetown Division, which is underwater. He demands and will see that all citizens affected get the necessary assistance.
We've seen in some cases a few roofs have collapsed, people's floorings have fallen in, caved in. In many cases their household goods and items have been destroyed. Refrigerators, stoves, sofas, TVs. So it's big. It's a huge problem, and we're certainly glad that NEMO has been activated, and we certainly expect and demand on behalf of the residents of Freetown equitable, fair treatment. We're glad to hear that the government has said that they will commit all the resources necessary to ensuring that everyone who has been affected by this disaster, there is a positive and quick response. We will make sure that that happens, certainly for the residents of Freetown, but as the leader of the party, for all of our citizens across the country who have been affected.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
Coming up,